Hi, back to watercolour. First for a couple of weeks or 2 or 3 weeks. I've been enjoying the acrylic. That was when Menorca last week, so not much, well, nothing was done in the way of painting. Right, I'm just trying to sort out the angle for this. I don't want it vertical, but I want it so that it shows on the screen, and yeah, that seems to be right. You're more or less 90 degrees on with the camera, but although the camera's at one side. If I ever come up with a boom, I can put the camera above my head pointing downwards, which would be much better. Okay, so water, hills, distance, foreground. So I've just got a bit of dirt on my head. Right, okay, so I'll wet the paper all over. This is Fabriano, £130 weight. I'll buy blocks of 100 from Art Discount, Granthams. I'll just let that soak in for a while. Now I'll get some nice watercolour red. Most of my nice clean bags have got acrylic on them now. So here's my palette. Lemon yellow, I've got some cadmium yellow there which I'm experimenting with. Raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey and burnt sienna. I've sprayed them with a bit of water. They haven't seen any water for some days now, but they're still nice and moist. So while that's nice and damp, we'll put in a bit of a crimson. I'm not going to use all the colours. A bit of cad yellow. It's very strong. This is an artist quality. That is why. Have a look at Stephen Cronin's latest one. I'm looking for. I've seen the YouTube thumbnail, but looking good. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Right, let's get some blue in there, I think. So ultramarine. In the water area. And we'll put a cloud in there, I think, so a bit of alizarin, a bit of that Payne's grey. That got a bit dry there. I'll just bring that down to the horizon, I think. Right, I'll reclip the paper and then we'll see where we go from there. So I'm making it up as I go along. The one I did yesterday, the Cala Cardana and Menorca, beautiful island. But I tried to paint after a bit of a disaster with a leak through the ceiling where the T-junction had lost one of its cut. Well, it was an overflow from a couple of tanks, 2 overflows, and they both went to the same T-junction, then out through the roof. But it got loosened, or we were working under there a few weeks ago, and it's been dripping ever since. So it was a bit of a disaster. So here we are. That's the edge of the water. Let's just try and keep my horizon straight. I'm going to put a large lump of land in here sort of an autumny scene. We're coming up to autumn now. Right, now let's get some burnt sienna and some ultramarine. Look at that cad yellow. Oh, it's so strong. I've enjoyed doing the acrylics. I hope it looks like it. We're all learning all the time. Clean up along there. So let's put in a bit of that reflection there while we're at it. And I'll put a bit of that blue background beyond there. Right, so I'll just drag that down a little bit. I've just got a very damp brush here, just to lose a little bit of it in. Okay, well that will do for that. Now I'm going to put in some foreground. So a bit of sienna. Let's mix the December, the siennas, the ambers. Payne's grey. Well, you just have fun with it. It doesn't have to be over realistic. Payne's grey is a lovely colour if you want to carve out rocks and things, which I shall do. These rocks are so easy to do with a card. You can lift them out with a straw, but why? Right, let's just put a little bit of reflection in there. I can add into that. Now we'll get some good darks in there now. So burnt sienna and Payne's grey. Now let's get some green in there. Nice bit of thick green. Right, card. Okay, we'll leave that side alone for a moment. Now we'll go back to the other side. So let's get some nice green. Come over much further here and make a bit of a sort of an inlet to the water. Just any old colour here, just the red. The sort of marshy sort of stuff here. Right, let's just reclip. This is all very simple painting. We're going to put some trees in here, but I'm still in my etching out. Resize with a rigger. Right, now we're going to put the trees in. Before I do, I want some nice green. I noticed that chestnuts today, the horse chestnuts, they are the first trees here to go brown. Mainly because they're suffering from some sort of disease, which is tragic. And a lot of their leaves are brown on the trees, so we're going to have a go at sort of put those in. That's had beautiful trees. Now I'll let that dry off a little bit because I've got to go much thicker. I should have, well, I like that tree, but so we're going with a dark green now on the sort of shadow. Okay, we'll do the same on the other side. Yeah, let's go up. Let's go higher with this one. Just using the edge of the egg. And I'll do a lot of this, the trunks of these with the edge of the hake. Right, so let's mix up a grey. For that I'm going to use some burnt umber and grey, burnt umber and ultramarine. So we'll pluck that one out. Now these trees are really huge. We're a little bit wet, but I'm going to go over this with some burnt sienna for those leaves. Okay. And we'll do another one on the other side, this nice grey. Not sure whether you'd find them in the river estuary, but there's a lot of water on the Wandle Trail where I was riding with my mates this morning. Right, we'll let that dry for a minute. I could dry it off, but right, let's just put in a little bit of just a bit of a reflection. Right, okay, let's clean the brush. I'll give that a bit of a dry, so take your headphones off, otherwise it'll take ages to dry. Right, now we're going to put some detail in the tree, so I'm going to clean my palette and then quickly I'm going to mix some, well, dry my brush, and then I'm going to put it into the burnt sienna. Now, where's my brush gone? Right, there. So take your hake, dry it off, get loads of points. There's a bit of wet in there, a bit of umber. Well, that's sort of, I'll strengthen the bushes up, I mean the clumps of grass up. So there are lots of these leaves that were around the trunk. Okay, so we've got two of these trees, but one I've made larger than the other, so that they don't compete. And I've made this foreground bigger than that foreground. Rigger. There it is. No, it's not. Usual problem. Lost my rigger. Well, not surprising, is it? Going from acrylics to watercolour, some watercolour to acrylics. And floods in the loft. Well, not flood, but could have been leaking for about a month, or dripping. Oh, here it is. Okay, so let's get that grey, burnt umber and ultramarine. Just little bits of when you come to paint them, you realise that as much as you look at them, you haven't really studied them. But I read somewhere that the shape of the tree tends to be the shape of the leaf. I don't know if that's true. Right, that would be enough for that. Now we've got to do some here. You do get sort of bits sticking out the side of these trees. I'll go add a bit more leaf. Okay, well, let's add a little fisherman. Right, let's just do a bit more of that stuff in the branch, in the leaves. Okay, what does that look like? Well, we come back to watercolours. It'll take a little while, so. Well, we'll just do a little bit of texturing with a rigger. No, I won't do any more to that. I'll put a signature on it. Maybe a bird. All right, let's put in them out. Well, there we are. So one little watercolour. Maybe we could weight this a little bit more this side. Let's see. I like that, so I don't want to go too mad here with this dead. I think they're like that, do. Okay, well, let's bring you round. So I was trying to keep the sides different. Maybe I'll put too much of that chunk in there, but hey, it's a watercolour. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a go yourself. It's a lot easier than you think. Don't make it difficult for yourself by trying to put too much in. Keep things simple. Keep your masses simple. And while it's wet, you exploit the things that you can with the wet paper. And at a certain stage of drying out, you can use your plastic card to scrape. This is a cheap paper, but it's good for the wetting wet. So it's not so expensive if you muck it up. Then you can always paint on the other side. And if both sides go wrong, save it for when you take up acrylic painting, because then you can use it. It's a wonderful surface for that sort of thing. Acrylic or oil. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.